This video was sponsored by Enhance, Elbilmek, ABRP Planner, Kempower and Bilkomponenter.
Yo, what's up? We're now at Tangen, and today I'm going to review this beast from the east. This is Kia on steroids. It's the facelift EV6 GT. The previous version had 585 horsepower. Now we have 650 horsepower with launch, which is the same as the Ioniq 5N. So it looks different. There are some changes. It has a facelift face now. It has, what can we see? Poke here. Okay, it's supposed to have some adjustable vents for extra cooling if it's needed. I wonder if it's over there. And well, the same brakes. Let me see if I remember all this. The same, well, maybe different rim, but at least the same tire, Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, 21 inch, just like last time when they tested the previous version. But it has the bigger battery now, over, what is it, 82 or 84 kilowatt hours. Sorry, you know, I feel like a noob, but it's just so many cars I go through every day, so I tend to forget all that. But you guys know all the specs, but yeah, GT here in the back, yeah, some changes in the back, but I remember last time, well, okay, before we proceed, Isabel is sleeping here. She is not 100% sick, but not 100% fine either. So that's why she stay home now. And it's actually good to keep her in the car. Well, it's sleeping time for her now. But it's good that we keep her in the car here, at least, that she doesn't jump around all the time. Not jump around, jump on, going down. But yeah. But she'll probably sleep around 1 hour, 1.5 hours. That's by the time I get done anyway. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, last time when we had the EV6 GT, it was kind of bare bone, you know. I remember it was a manual seat. Everything was a little bit stripped down. Now we have more convenient features like electric adjustable seat and actually ventilation and yeah, they have the EV9 dashboard now, you know, with some nicer texture. Okay, whatever. Probably you guys don't care. We have the GT button here, no N button here, but that's the Ioniq. But yeah, so we're gonna do a range test. I just want to know, with the exact same tires, with upgraded battery, do we get the same result as last time when it comes to consumption? It's all actually almost identical weather also. And then I think for the first time now in 10 years, I've forgotten my OBD adapter. It's the blue OBD Link LX. Now I'm using the OBD Link CX. So I'm trying to figure out where the heck it went. Probably in that Jack E30X. But okay, but no worries, because we have some OBD data here. This is ABRP Planner. You can connect it, and actually it doesn't support OBD LX. I think there's some security issues, but the CX works. And you see we have some live data here. I wish they could add more, or we could customize it more. Okay, we have state of charge, we have power, voltage, there's calibrated reference consumption, and then battery temp, and degradation is 0. Okay, they better be 0. We have only 6,600 kilometers on the odometer. And then we see some elevation and some other stuff here. So, okay, anyway, so I'm gonna keep this tab like this. Kinda, we're gonna drive, I can show you guys here. Wait, this is kind of clumsy. You have to do this, and then, wait, I thought I had it there. What the heck happened there? Shit, I'm recommending this for other people. You have to toggle here and there. Okay, there. We're gonna go from here. We are Tangen over there and back again. So it's not that long loop. We're just testing consumption anyway. So it's not too interesting how far we drive. I'm gonna reset some stuff here. Let me see, drive mode. Yes, kind of important. We go drive mode, and then we go to eco this time. There. And I think that's it. Let's go. Right, okay, reset. We have proper trip meter here. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, we're on the move. So as before, we have the head-up display here. It's actually kind of small compared to many other cars nowadays that get the AR, like in the B platform or the Audi Q6, A6, even some of the Chinese cars. But okay, so doing 122 on the speedo, and then very convenient then in Bedroom Planning we also see the GPS speed 120. So this has fairly accurate speed. Most cars have to cruise 123. A nice and comfy ride, despite that this is kind of like a sports car, right? It's Kia on adrenaline. But yeah, since we are in eco mode, we should have some comfort settings now. We are not in the tight setting, but yeah, you can go into the GT mode or some of the sport mode, and they get really tight and more like a driving feel. But you know, now with the family, well, there's Isabel here sleeping in the back. I'm not gonna do any hammering, but it's a great ride. I like the EV6 ride because it doesn't ride like a boat like the brother from another brother, the Ioniq 5. But there's some road noise here, but I guess it's not that bad. Yeah, we have 21-inch wheels, you know, 40 profile tires, so they're borderline low profile. I think I would consider 35 or 30 profile low profile. So this is okay, but still, I'm still impressed of how well it rides. But at least when I check out all the specs stuff, I don't think they did any improvement in the soundproofing. It was already quite good in the EV6. It's more like in the battery and on the other features, and also just like the regular facelift EV6, we also have now upgraded matrix lights. They have now 12 elements. It was fewer elements, 12 elements on each side, so high resolution on the stuff, the matrix stuff. But we're not gonna test that. We already tested in the regular, so there's no difference here. You see, now that we're driving in the high-speed test, yeah, and the Germans here, it's only using the rear motor because this is part of the eGMP platform. It has a decoupling of the front motor to save energy. So many cars nowadays, they mix induction motor and PM or permanent magnet motors. But here, correct me if I'm wrong, there's 2 PM motors. The advantage with PM motors is that they're more efficient than the induction moters. And then, okay, there are some other variants also that the BMW is using and Tesla. But okay, but then the disadvantage with the PM motor is that you can usually not disconnect them or let them free roll. That's why they mix an induction and a PM. But here, with 2 PM motors, there is actually I think it's called like a dumb clutch or something that disconnects the front. Yeah, meaning that the clutch that can only go on and off, not like a variable, like you know, clutch from a fossil car. Okay, I'm gonna turn around a little bit earlier than expected. No big deal. Wait, one small thing I don't like about these new Kias and Hyundai is that the auto steer and the adaptive cruise control, they are independent now. But yeah. So you can actually use auto steer and then throttle manually. But there's no way to link them, unlike you can in Audi. They can link it together, like most cars already linked by default. But man, it goes quite nice in the roundabouts. Did I have too much lateral force? Isabel moved. But yeah, oh, I like it. I'm gonna try eventually to go kind of schnell in the corners, but not now. Now we're just doing the consumption test. And also there's plenty of power here. I'm just using 10% power maybe. Yeah, maybe 20%, I see it here now. I was at 110, 130 kilowatt power output. Oh man, Elefantrennen. This is the second time it happened during this test. So yeah, the loop is around 50 kilometers long, so of course these two will affect another, of course. And then we have this guy who also drives slow past the truck. Yeah, not sure if I can compensate. Oh, dude, come on, can you go a little bit faster, please? Not sure if I can compensate for that much more, since the test is almost over in here. So, well, it is as good as we can get it, right? That's what he said. Okay, it was 253 watt-hour per kilometer. Last time we tested in very similar temperature was 259. So yeah, it could have been those two trucks and a slightly lower speed and a little bit of drafting that caused the lower consumption. So we cannot assume that the efficiency has gone well up or yeah. Okay, let's test 90 then. And here we have a brand spanking new steering wheel with that mark on top there. But it has a new feature. It's now capacitive, which means that once it nags me, I could just do this, maybe, shoop, then it goes away. Most other steering wheel, you have to rotate it to give input, or fat e-tron, you have to squeeze it. There's a squeeze sensor there, well, depending on if you go for the steering wheel heater or not. But here, you could just drive like this. You can drive like this, like an old man. You can do like the rock star, yeah! You can do this, you know. But putting your potato here or your banana is not gonna work. Oh yeah, this time it was 186 watt-hour per kilometer. I was idling here a bit while I was calculating, so then it counts while we're stationary, which is, in my opinion, incorrect, because as long as we are in park, we are not on the trip. People might disagree, but whatever, we can use 187. Okay, but anyway, I also measure that it's supposed to be 54 kilometer. Okay, it's not super accurate there. And then this car seems to underreport by 1.7%. So that means that the actual consumption is 183 watt-hour per kilometer. The battery is at 23 degrees Celsius. We started at 20 degrees. We haven't gained that much heat. But with 56% without any preheating, let's plug it in and see what kind of speed we get. Okay, handshake. It is kind of slow on these 800 volt cars. Maybe because there's extra high voltage checks, whatever, isolation check. Tesla will be charging by now. There, okay, well, relatively fast. Is it gonna ramp up or? So I didn't power off the car. Oh, I forgot. It's a bit slow, yeah. It starts ramping up now. You don't have to power off the car. You could just keep it on and handshake will still work. Wait. What is that? Rust? Well, it's probably brake dust. Okay, but also the new EV6 now, GT, has a smoother belly, what they should call it. So they have improved the aerodynamics under here, also in the front here, and somewhere in the back here, the side skirt or something. So I tried to look for source information here. It's supposed to have drag coefficient of 0.3, but then how much was it before? And then some other sources claim 0.28 or 0.29. But at least the test here indicates that we have gotten better efficiency than before, despite that we actually have the exact same tires as before. And the weather was, you know, almost the same. It cannot be exactly the same. There could be different air pressure today versus last time, right? But very similar. And okay, we didn't drive on the exact same route, but also very similar. Okay, we're getting only 125 kilowatts. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's okay. Yeah, this charger cannot show you volt and amp anymore. We have to go way inside the car maybe. But yeah, I almost feel like it's slightly outdated compared to the 5C batteries that you get in the Chinese car, like Xpeng nowadays, or some of the other ones. But okay, whatever. Let me check inside the car what it looks like. Yeah, same charging screen as before, 125 kilowatts. And then here we see that the battery is heating up slowly, 24 degrees Celsius now. When I try the launch mode in the Ioniq 5, my bad. I have to swipe here, go here. Maybe there's a hotkey somewhere. Excuse my noobness, but if you go here, I'm trying to look for. Yeah, I could probably set the hotkey. You can do this, and you can set a hotkey there. But I set it to the performance timer. Okay, maybe if I go back here, you can kind of get. No, okay. Then holy shit, man. Okay, let me go back here. Settings, vehicle is one way to go. Maybe there's another way. Because I tried to swipe down here, but this car doesn't have a swipe down menu. not a side swipe menu either. So I mean, it's a modern car, yes, I'm not gonna lie, it's a nice car, you know. Just feel like the infotainment here, the screen is quite small. Okay, you have this screen here, but it's actually better to have one bigger screen than to have two smaller screens. Plus that it's not that safe to look that far down versus maybe look this far down, right? And then have the events electronically adjusted. Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna tell Kia, Hyundai how to design the car. It's just that I feel like the ergonomics in some of the other cars with bigger screen are better, and especially if they have a down swipe or side swipe. But okay, anyway, I'm gonna show you guys. No, my bad. Well, you can go here also, my bad. Okay, but here, launch control. There's no N mode here, but the launch control, when I activated it at home, it didn't preheat or anything. So does it mean that the car is ready? I'm not gonna launch control now with Isabella sleeping in the back, but yeah. Because eventually I'm going to try some acceleration test, and then supposedly the battery shouldn't be too hot, not over 50 degrees Celsius, but also not too cold. So I don't know, maybe 25 to 35 degrees is optimal, right? Okay, I disconnected. Try launch control. Shoop. Do we see anything going on here? Preheating. Not getting ready in 40 minutes or whatever. No, there's nothing going on there. Power is just 0.5 kilowatt, which is probably HVAC. I guess the car is ready at 26 degrees Celsius. And by the way, just like the Ioniq 5N, we have fake gear shift. So first I do switch over to sport mode, and then we have used this hotkey here for the, you get some RPM, whatever. And then, well, this always resets to moderate. So you want to go largest change with highest volume. Yeah, you see. So even if you set it to largest, if you do this, so that's kind of silly. At least remember the state I had. Okay, now there's one. Okay, I have to wait a bit, and then. But it has 6 gear. Okay, now it's on auto. You can then go manual. You get the gear indicator. You know, it is freaking crazy. It's like you try to quit smoking and you just can't let go. Okay, you cannot destroy anything here. That's good. Okay, there you go. Shit. So based on test today, we have lower consumption than before, but also bigger battery than before. That means more range. Wonderful. You can get this sport car. Okay, it's like a family sport saloon, whatever, you know, maybe similar to an Audi RS6, yeah, kind of, yeah, but it's electric. And you still get okay range. And also the bigger battery here charges faster than before. So it's like the best of both worlds, you know. Yeah, plenty of space, good comfort, good soundproofing, goes like a rocket, and it has the 800 volt architecture. Go get it. That's gonna be for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching, and talk to you later.